I'm up here at Prairie Queen, getting ready to check it out for the first time. Never been here before. I've heard good things. Plenty of sizable bass, I hear. They do have some jetties and lots of cover. So right now I'm doing a weightless Texas rig. There's way too much moss and stuff in here, hanging everything up. So I'm just trying this out, seeing some stuff jumping. I think it's frogs though. But I'll give this a try. See how it does. Should be about the right weight and everything we need for over here. So this is an interesting little spot. See, lots of frogs. I wonder how shallow this is. Huh. Well, let's see if we can get anything going out here. Doing weightless Texas rig. See if anything's awake over here. I don't know anything about this lake. I don't know where the hot spots are. I don't know what areas to avoid. I don't know how deep it is. I don't know anything about this lake right now. Ripped my worm in half here. Right there, it was about another 3 or 4 inches or so. But I went with this route. Completely weightless. Of course, besides the weight of the worm itself. It's on a 5/0 heavy EWG hook. And I guess I'll just keep working down this coastline. And I don't know if it's worth going back into areas like this, because if I do hook something, I don't know if I can get it in over all this timber. But as you can tell, there's a billion frogs here. I only have 30-pound test on here, braided. I'd prefer 50 or 65 if I'm gonna be in this super heavily wooded area. So on to the next spot. Frogs are on the run. You can hear them yiping. See if I can get out here. Oh, the bass should be happy. I scared a bunch of frogs right into their face. That's not gonna work. Last thing, yeah, see, I'm already wrapping around stuff. Some of the situations where, yeah, there's a lot of good spots here, but I don't know if I can get a good cast out where I need it. There's a good one. So, again, we're doing the Texas rig weightless. See if we can get some of these more kind of wooded area where, I mean, really a lot of this Prairie Queen is just a flooded forest, like a lot of these man-made reservoirs. Let's try the next spot. That's why I'm here, right? Try out some new, try out a new place, show it to you guys, let you see what you think of it for yourself. I don't want to tell you if it's good or bad. If I make any catches, I can go over some of the quality of the bass here, but as far as the quality of the location, I can't really speak much to that right now. It's the locations that you don't think you should try, or that you don't want to try because they look difficult, which is where you're gonna get that catch of a lifetime. So, and I don't know what that was, but we'll go with it. So it's much easier to travel with the rear of your rod first instead of the tip of it. So carry it like this as you go through, and just make sure that your line's not hanging out behind you. And you should be able to weave through fairly easily through a lot of this stuff. This is better. And I have literally no idea where these bass are on this water. No idea whatsoever. No, we're just gonna go out far, keep working our way back slow. Weightless Texas rig, green pumpkin, old monster. It's a little toasty out. It's about 90 degrees. So these guys might be doing what I should be doing, sleeping. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten any bites or anything. No signs of any type of fish over here at all whatsoever. Plenty of frogs. Not one single fish jump or tug or anything. So maybe this is not a good position on the lake. This entire side over here. I mean, theoretically, you know, I mean, it's a little shallow, but there's plenty of cover. The fact that I haven't even gotten a single bite is a little strange. But if they're not hungry, they're not hungry. So whenever you go to a new lake, one of the first things you want to do, if it's available, is go over your contour map and see what areas of the lake, northeast, southwest, see what areas have the depth you're looking for that time of year. So deeper in the winter, more shallow in the summer. And see if there's anything on the contour map that matches what you're looking for. Nice little spot with some rocks here. I would guess with all those trees out there that that's where they're at. They have cover away from people, away from the shoreline. Obviously I have no way of getting out there, at least not right now. So I'm just doing what I can with what I have. And I have no idea how deep this is. On the topographic map, the average depth of this lake was about 13 feet. And where you see those trees is down to 30 feet. So it's, you know, as far as depth goes around here, on these man-made reservoirs, this one is one of the deeper ones, at least in the Papillion, Omaha area. Great for kayaking, canoeing, all that good stuff. And now I'm gonna drag it with a little twitch at the top. And you know, I would think with this bait and this water, I mean, it's fairly clear. I mean, you can see a couple feet down. And with this being green pumpkin and as large as it is, they can see this, you know, a mile away in here. So there's no reason that if one wasn't right in the area, they wouldn't pick this up. So I'm trying a couple different techniques to see what might get their attention. You know, again, there's a huge abundance of food here. They have no reason to grab my worm. So unless it's right in front of their face, I don't think they're gonna go for it. There's no reason for them to chase after this. So many frogs and bluegill out here. I just wanna catch fish, you know? Just wanna try to catch something here. And, you know, this spot is blocked off by these trees. I'm curious though, if I cast over the top of it, if I can bring something in. And this is something that, you know, a lot of the pros and stuff will tell you to try. You know, cast where other people wouldn't cast and that type of thing. And I'm just doing the same thing, dragging it, twitching it. And of course I can't really see. I just know there's a big log in front of me. Nope, nothing there. It's a pretty good cast. Sometimes you look where other people would never even think to try to fish for something. And that's where you throw your bait, because they've probably never seen it. So they'll be much more likely to react. All right, next spot. No reactions, no blowups in the water. I'm not seeing any signs of any fish whatsoever, which makes me think when I get one, I'm gonna be so surprised I'm gonna forget to set the hook. Yeah, I'm just thinking this isn't deep enough over here. I had a similar situation when I was at Walnut Creek. I was fishing quite a bit on the shallow side and wasn't hitting anything. As soon as I went to the deep side, I started hitting them. And it is 90 degrees out, so that could certainly play a role. Let's see, we'll try a couple more spots here. I want to get closer to the end. There's kind of a jetty over here that I want to try out. And see that spot right there. That spot I can't look away from. Let's visit here for a bit. Just looks way too good. You know, again, haven't seen any signs of any fish whatsoever over here. Not even bluegill. But a lot of these bass will just sit over here and just wait under the trees for stuff to fall. very opportunistic. So I'm gonna be a worm falling from the tree. See how that goes. See how that treats us. Not a single bite. I've probably walked a quarter mile along this entire side without a single strike, single blow up, single jump. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Well, this is a beautiful lake. They've done a great job. This one had a lot more work put into it than a lot of our other reservoirs. They have their entire plan and the way they built it and all the structure. A lot of the structure is, I mean, you can't see it, it's underwater. They've used trees and they've used trees and concrete and different things to create a whole bunch of underwater structure for the fish. So the fish don't necessarily need to come out over here to these logs and things. Head back up to civilization. I don't see any paths up. There's one. Follow the beer, I guess. Here's a better view. This is just part of this lake. Maybe about a third of it. Kind of wraps around a few different areas. There's a bridge with some pilings you can fish. And then the area I'm heading to is kind of an isolated little cove. No trees, at least not green trees, but there's a bunch of dead trees right in the center. And that's where I'm gonna head back to. We'll see if there's anything over there worthwhile. I couldn't see myself not hitting at least, hopefully, one bass. Public service announcement, guys. Make sure you stay hydrated. I'm out here on a 90-degree day and definitely getting dehydrated, and I'm drinking Gatorade. But it's pretty easy to lose focus and just be focusing on your fishing, or in my case, fishing and recording. And before you know it, you're completely dehydrated and need a liter or two to get you back to where you need to be. So I'm out here and I'm watching everyone else, and I haven't seen anyone hit any fish yet, besides like one or two bluegill, including on the boats. And if the boats aren't hitting them, that's usually not a good sign. This is the boat launch. And then there's this trail that leads around. So I just spoke to a gentleman that has been fishing here, he said, for 2 years. He's been fishing from the shore and also from his kayak. And he said he's only caught one bass in that 2 years here. And that one bass he caught right in front of me just now, and it was about 8 inches long. So it's not a good sign, but like I said, one of the bass groups that's on Facebook that I belong to, they all have, you know, 3, 4, 5 pound bass pictures from out of here. So I don't know if they were out deeper, or, you know, if it was off season. Like right now, we're in the heat of summer. So obviously that can have a huge effect on their activity level. Typically they're more active, but if it gets too hot, they shut off. I think I'll go to this other side and try a little bit more, but this may be one of those days where I'm showing you guys the lake and not so much catches. Here's another shot of the lake from over here. Little workout area, beautiful lake. In fact, you know, I could see this being a good one to jog around. I've been doing a walk to 5K, and a lot of the places I run have a lot of forested area, so you're pretty well shaded while you're running. But you know, this one's scenic. I could see myself doing maybe once or twice a week here. Not every day. Don't want to be in 90-degree weather every day in direct sunlight while you're running. You know, it's just patience. I think I've been here for maybe an hour. Not even, well, yeah, a little over an hour. You know, new body of water. A lot of times these guys will be fishing all day when they're showing you their big catches and things. A lot of times when I do my videos, I've only spent an hour and a half to 2 hours on that body of water. I'm going a little bit more aggressive, moving it fairly quickly. See if I can trigger a reaction bite, or a reaction strike, I should say. That's where the bass hits it because it's irritating them, or it's so close to them that they instinctually hit it, not necessarily because they're hungry. And a lot of times that's when you'll catch your bigger bass, when you're punching and flipping into mats and things like that. As soon as that jig or that lure breaks through there, they instinctually react to protect themselves and their territory, and that's when they bite. Let's see what we got here. Can I get out to it? Oh, this is interesting. So look at this here. It's basically this kind of dammed off area with logs and other things around it. It's kind of a backflow. So this looks like a good spot to try some stuff out, but I'm thinking I should switch to wacky, but we'll try a little bit here with the Texas rig. We'll try that first. Next spot. Scenic, not very productive. I see that the trees are significantly further out than I originally thought from where I was looking at them from earlier. So I can't even cast out that far. these shrimp wrappers. People are going for some catfish out here. Catches, no bites even. Looks good in the water. Apparently they're just not hungry. Now, one thing I bet would be awesome out here would be drop shots over all those trees out there. If you drop shotted that, I mean, you're putting it in the strike zone for quite a long time. Could be an awesome day doing that, but from the shore I'm not getting much. So now I'm just gonna work on heading back to the vehicle. If I get the itch at some point, I may throw it back out, but I'm just not seeing much reason to. I've never been to a body of water and not at least had bites. I had no bites, no visual signs of any fish, except for a bluegill that a kid caught when I first got here, and a little tiny like 8-inch dink bass that a kayak fisherman hit while I was here. Other than that, I've seen absolutely nothing but frogs. Well, I'm heading back to the dock. I've talked to several people on boats, kayaks, canoes, and on the shoreline fishing. No one's hit anything. They say nothing's been biting really at all here for a while. And one guy even went so far as to say that in 2 years, he's caught 1 or 2 bass. I don't know if that's, you know, I don't know if that's what you should expect here, but that's been my experience today. I've walked over a mile of the bank line and fished every nook and cranny, and I didn't get a single bite except from a bullfrog. So at this point, Prairie Queen does not look like an ideal fishing spot, at least from the shore. But again, I've only hit maybe 1/10 of the area of the shoreline that this place offers. And it's also midday. I'm not gonna come back out here this evening. I'm just not seeing any activity. I'm not seeing any reason to come back. A few people said it might be overfished, getting too much pressure. And as I say that, there's 2 bass boats getting ready to launch. But it just seems like this place is great for, you know, general recreation and getting out on the water. But as far as a strong bass fishery, I can't give it any points right now. I never give up on a body of water from just one experience, but at this point, this one definitely has 1 of 3 strikes. So hopefully I'll get out here again soon. Maybe I'll try earlier in the morning or later in the evening. But typically when I do these videos for you guys, the time of day hasn't mattered where I go. You at least get bites and a couple hits, a couple catches. So we'll see.